Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Seadoo accelerator pumps. In the late 90s, companies like Seadoo started using accelerator pumps in order to meet the standards of the EPA. The emission testing was done at idle, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you know anything about two-strokes. So in order to pass these tests, you have to lean out the idle mixture, and you can do that two ways. The first way is by lowering the pilot jet size. The second way is by increasing pop-off pressure. For example, Seadoo went from an 80-gram spring to a 95-gram spring in their 787 engine models. They also went from a size 70 pilot jet to a 67.5, and in some instances a 65 pilot jet. Because the idle mixture is leaned out, you now will get a hesitation or a stall. That is where that accelerator pump comes in. It's going to squirt fuel down the throat of the carb, enrichen the mixture during takeoff so that the acceleration is smooth and you have perfect throttle response. Now let's take you through how to clean and rebuild these accelerator pumps. You're going to find two different style accelerator pumps with Seadoo. The more common style is going to be a smaller accelerator pump housing. After 1999, you do see a lot more of these larger accelerator pumps. And the style is going to be based on the shape of the diaphragm on the inside. First, remove these 4 screws here. Here we have our diaphragm with the plunger. This is our lever bracket. Surrounding the hole that the plunger goes through is this rubber collar. We have our lever right here. We have our wheel that gets pushed by the throttle butterfly. That's what engages the lever and pumps the diaphragm. When the diaphragm relaxes, it creates a vacuum that sucks in more fuel from the carb fuel chamber through this line into the accelerator pump fuel chamber. This action is very similar to your own diaphragm that sits below your lungs. Here we have a set screw that is adjusted to the correct length of the diaphragm plunger. If for some reason you pull off a pump and there's a lot of space between this bracket here and the plunger, you may have to adjust that so that it's barely touching. Make sure that you have this restrictor jet in this line. If you don't have one, you can purchase it from a Mikuni dealer, or you can buy a 30 pilot jet for this fuel line size. The purpose of this restrictor jet is to prevent any excessive vacuuming from the fuel chamber. In other words, if you keep pressing the throttle and you're activating this diaphragm, it will suck in more fuel from the fuel chamber, thus starving this carburetor. You might even stall out your jet ski. Okay, let's talk about the differences in this style pump. First main one is our round style diaphragm. It's a lot larger, and obviously the shape. Our spring is a lot bigger. Our fuel bowl here will provide a lot more volume. Last couple differences. This size fuel inlet or injector fitting is a lot larger than the square style. What that requires is a larger line. So if you're replacing these lines, this requires a 3/16 inch inner diameter line. I use a yellow Tygon fuel line that I get from Ace Hardware. The last and most important difference with this accelerator pump is this orange umbrella check valve. In this particular pump, this check valve broke off from its stem, but it sits right here and it prevents backflow when the pump is recharging. One of the problems with this check valve is that Mikuni does not source this part anymore, so you cannot find it. So a lot of people, what they do is they get rid of the accelerator pump, but in reality they need it on these big engines like the 951. So what I've done over the past years, I've actually sourced new umbrella check valves from a company in the Netherlands. So I'm the only person that actually has these check valves. To install the orange check valve, you're going to take some WD-40 and just going to wet the tip. You got to lube the tip. What you're then going to do is you're going to stick it in the middle hole, and you're just going to apply gradual pressure and go straight down with your thumb. And you're just going to hold it in After a moment of time, you're going to roll back your thumb and you're going to see if that umbrella lifts off. If it doesn't, you should be good to go and you can lift off your thumb. Another part not sourced by Mikuni anymore is this larger recharge jet. Okay, this recharge jet will fit in a 3/16 inch line as opposed to our smaller, more common recharge jet. Now, the inner diameter of the holes are also different. This one's a lot smaller. It's comparable to a 30 size pilot jet. So if you need to replace this, you open it up and you don't have it, and you need a new part, I suggest you getting a main jet size 70 or 75, even 80 would work. And the reason why is you need some type of restriction in the line to maintain a gradient pressure so that you can recharge and discharge appropriately. So the reason why we have this end facing the accelerator pump bowl is this smaller, flatter side is going to be a little more helpful in restricting backflow. If you turn it over, the other side is a more open end, and that is going to be very helpful and conducive to receiving fuel and letting it go through the jet. Taking a look at our square style restrictor jet, the smaller one, same thing. The front cone portion is going to be smaller and flatter, and then our back is a funnel that receives the fuel. We're going to take our spring for the diaphragm, we're going to insert it in the groove here, we're going to leave it right there. Now, instead of putting our diaphragm and plunger right on top, what we're going to do is we're going to take our lever side, we're going to insert it through the opening, then going to take our screws, we're going to put them through the gasket. And the reason we do this is so that everything kind of stays in place. We're not pinching the gasket if it's not aligned. And then we're going to put it right on top. We next have to install our retentioning spring. We're going to unscrew the top, and we're going to leave the screw on so that the lever can move slightly back. We're going to take our spring and our collar and put them together. Our collar goes on the smaller nub, and we're going to push it through and use our thumb to push it back, and now we can fasten down our screw again. What we're going to do is check the action of the plunger of the diaphragm. We're going to take our lever, we're going to push down, and we're going to see how quickly this plunger returns to its normal position. This one is in perfect working order. If your plunger is taking a long time to return, that means you have some type of clog inside the channel of this accelerator pump. So right here, you're going to have a spring, and that spring acts as a pressure valve. And when that gets corroded, that's going to restrict the action of the diaphragm. So if that's the case, you're going to attach a fuel line to this fitting. You're then going to spray carb cleaner through it, and you're just going to keep spraying that until that plunger frees up and it's all cleaned out in that channel. To check the injector and its check valve, we're going to take a plastic tube and we're going to attach it to the inlet fitting right here. Now with pressure, this check valve should let air through, and with vacuum, it should hold pressure. So with pressure, it is allowing fuel through, so that is good. Here's our vacuum pump. Anytime I'm rebuilding a set, I will always change out the Mikuni OEM fuel lines. And I do this because those black Mikuni fuel lines that they purchase for their builds tends to harden and crack over a short period of time. If that line cracks, you depressurize the line and it's not going to create that pressurization and vacuum that you need for it to operate correctly. What I suggest doing is going to Ace Hardware and buying a vinyl style fuel line that is not only flexible and pliable, but that after 3 or 4 years of use, it's still going to maintain that same pliability. On the early accelerator pump models, we're talking 1997, 98, you will find this green check valve. It is not necessary, you can just remove it.